How's it going, everyone? AFC Finners, we're back in Hereford as we started the season. You can see the ball behind me. We've come to the market square, and over there just got my lunch. A lovely place called Pim's Food that does Thai. It's absolutely delicious. I'd thoroughly recommend if you're here. This is, of course, a place with many teams, and we started the season off with Hereford Pegasus, but now we're doing Grand Bull themselves, Hereford FC. I drove past their stadium when we last came here, but I'm very excited to do this ground. That's a lover of the FA Cup. There is a huge amount of FA Cup history there with the legendary Ronnie Radford goal against Newcastle that sparked an upset and made John Nottson's career. So it's going to be very good to see this. I saw Hereford play several times in the Football League. Somehow have never been to their ground before, and obviously it's been a tumultuous period for Hereford fans, but thankfully they've come back. They're in the National League North. It's good to see them on the way back up, and hopefully they'll come back into the Football League soon. But yeah, had lunch in the centre. It's a very nice market. Thoroughly recommend checking this out if you're coming to a game here. Let's walk over to Edgar Street. There it is, Edgar Street. Let's have a stroll round if this light would shut up. Okay, so I decided to get a half-time draw ticket for £1, but there's also something I've not seen at a ground before. You get this thing called Golden Goal, and basically if the first goal of the game is scored in this time period, that's just for me, it's obviously different for every ticket, you win the prize. And they've been very clear with how you can claim it on the ticket, so for only £1 and you could win £500 on each. So let's hope there's a late opening goal today. Fingers crossed. That's the selection available. Yeah, pin match, £3. I went much better than Doncaster. Unfortunately, had to pop to a cash point over at Waitrose because they can only take cash these because it goes to someone separate. But there you go, nice pin badge, excellent stuff. Yep, are named after the man, the myth, the legend himself, Ronnie Radford. Let's have a gander. FA Cup legend when he passed away last year. Long live Ronnie Radford. This club bar is brilliant. All these testaments to Radford goal, and Casey Watson all football in here too. And also, you get a little sneak peek into Edgar Street. If the camera would focus, which it won't. Look at that. Welcome to Hereford. What is your best memory in all time you supported the club?
The Newcastle game.
I thought it might be that. I was hoping
yeah.
you'd been to that game. Can you tell us a bit more about that day?
Oh, it was brilliant. I was sat right behind the goal. They had ropes by the goal.
Oh, did you run onto the pitch?
Yeah, most of them we had parkers on then.
Oh, fantastic. That's amazing. I'm so jealous of you being there on that day.
Oh yeah, we enjoy coming to the games together. My other lad comes as well sometimes, so we enjoy the day out. And I've been a lifelong Hereford supporter, so
when I'm married,
more
I
years
didn't
than I
have a choice.
want to mention.
And so for Groundhoppers such as myself, I've enjoyed the experience so far. But as well as it being a great club to follow, what can Groundhoppers expect to find at Edgar Street?
I would say they're all a good bench. The supporters are good. It's all good. I think it's all positive. Really good.
I don't know, we've had lots of laughs. We've had also stood that end and had a few tears. But it's good team spirit. The crowd are always good. Usually get behind the team. Usually.
Obviously, it's been a difficult decade for the club, but you're on your way back. You've had to rise through the divisions. Are you feeling optimistic about the future?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there seems to be a buzz about the club at the moment, doesn't there? And then we've got a young manager who's really changed things. A lot here. I think he's really enthusiastic, and he's brought some good players in. So hopefully, that will bear fruit for the rest of the season. Really.
Well, hopefully things are going to look up. We've got a good squad. Whether or not we can keep the players is another thing. But yeah, it's all looking good. We've got a good manager. It's all looking good.
Well, I hope we go up this season. Because we've been in this league now too long.
And finally, what is your prediction for today?
2-0, I hope.
Excellent. That's the spirit. Well, fingers crossed you're proving right.
I think we'll win 2-0.
2-0.
Okay. And what about you?
Yeah, I'll go for the 2-0.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
we're
four.
shouting
That's
for
four
it.
people who've gone for 2-0. Let's
That's
hope
good
you're all
then.
proving
Oh,
right.
okay, well that must be favourite then.
That's the score.
Love this. Proper retro. Not lost their soul at all.
Alright, so we're about to go inside Edgar Street, but before we do, let's find out a bit about today's hosts, Hereford FC. The initial incarnation of Hereford were founded as Hereford United in 1924 as a combination of St Martin's and Rotherwas. They went on to join the Birmingham District League in 1928, spending 11 seasons there. They joined the Southern League, but their initial season there was unfortunately disrupted by the outbreak of World War II. After the war, they spent 27 seasons in the Southern League, winning the Southern League Cup 3 times. In 1966, legendary Welshman John Charles joined the club, with the aim of improving their growth. His position at the club saw many turn up to watch them, and they became one of the best supported non-league clubs in the UK. Charles would depart the club in 1971, but they were in a strong position, and in 1972 they gained national prominence when they knocked Newcastle out of the FA Cup, with Ronnie Radford scoring a long-range screamer considered one of the greatest in the competition's history. The cup run helped them gain election to the Football League for the first ever time. They rose all the way to the 2nd Division, although would quickly drop down to the 4th tier, where they would remain for 19 years, and faced financial problems on multiple occasions. They were relegated to the Conference in 1997, and in 1998 they were purchased by the club's manager, Graham Turner, whilst they faced debts of over £1 million. Turner would only purchase 2 players for a fee between 1997 and 2008, for a combined total of £40,000. The club remained rooted to the Conference, but a change in fortune saw them return to the Football League after they defeated Halifax in the 2006 playoff final. With newly secured financial security, the only way was up, as they achieved promotion to the 3rd tier for the first time since the 1970s in 2008. Unfortunately, they would be immediately relegated, and were going to be relegated back to the Conference in 2012. The club experienced financial issues once again, and were expelled from the Conference in 2014. This time, they would not be saved, and were wound up in December of that year. The Phoenix club, Hereford FC, were founded in December 2014, joining the Midland Football League the next year. They sealed the league title and also won the Herefordshire County Cup and Midland Football League Cup. They would then join the Southern League South and West, and successive league title wins saw them reach a National League North, where they remain to this day, as they continue their quest to return to the Football League. Overall, the 2 incarnations of the club have won 1 3rd Division title, 1 Welsh Cup, 3 Southern League Cups, 3 Herefordshire County Cups, 1 Midland League Premier Division, 1 Midland Football League Cup, 1 Southern League Division 1 South and West title, and 1 Southern League Premier Division. And a bit of trivia: English conspiracy theorist David Icke played in goal for Hereford between 1971 and 1973, before he was forced to retire due to injury. So those are our hosts, Hereford FC. Let's have a look inside their home, Edgar Street.
Well then, Edgar Street, it's long last. So grabbed a spot of lunch, nice lime bar, very underrated, and can't go on cheese and onion. Only £2 as well. There it is. Stands where Ronnie Radford scored over 50 years ago. Those must be the trees. Some of the sports watched the game.
Let's bring on this afternoon's team lineups. Hereford FC goalkeeper number 1, Curtis Pond. Number 2, Aaron Skinner. Number 3, Adam Livingston. Number 4 is Oreo Teixeira.
unbelievable. That might be the most against run of play goal I've ever seen. 90 minutes in, it's been all Hereford. The goalkeeper fumbled and Curzon Ashton player hit into an empty net. 10 Curzon Ashton fans will be very pleased, but this is not what I expected. 1-0 to the away side. Just before half time, Hereford finally stuck it in. The corner came in, headed across, and Carl Halkins at the back post to equalise. They've finally broken through and got the goal they deserved. Can they push on? 1-1. So, as just stated, Hereford have finally got their goal, and I think that was just what they need. That was all they needed, because you could tell they're getting frustrated and didn't look like they were going through. But now they finally have. I felt the floodgates open in the second half and probably see their way to a comfortable victory. Curzon Ashton done pretty much nothing apart from that goal and kicked lumps out of Hereford players. They've been poor, they just got a bit lucky. But yeah, I think we'll see a few more goals for the home side. Half time, 1-1.
The second goal for Hereford FC, scored by number 8, Alex Babos.
Around 64 minutes in, and Hereford are finally in front. They've been dominant, and a ball was played to Alex Babanos on the edge of the box. He's blasted it in at the speed of light. At long last, Hereford are in front, 2-1. Salt in the wound to Curzon Ashton. Their goalkeeper handled the ball outside the box. He's got a second yellow and a red. It's the salt. Hereford take advantage of the inexperienced goalkeeper to get a third and to seal the 3 points. The free kick was saved by the standing goalkeeper, but Adam Rooney has tapped it in. 3-1.
Selected by Matchday and Matchball sponsor Increase Transport. The winners of the game was number 8, Alex Babos.
And so at full time, Hereford do get the 3 points they deserve. Once they equalised, the result was never in doubt. I, for once, finally predicted something correctly. But yeah, they were dominant, took their chances in the end. Curzon Ashton had a flurry, but Hereford did what they needed to do. So, a big result for them. Can it help them turn their season around? We'll have to see. Full time at Edgar Street. Hereford 3, Curzon Ashton 1. So that was Edgar Street, home of Hereford. It's really been a pleasure to be here. You know, they were a club I saw play many times in the Football League, and it's so sad to see what's happened to them, but good to see them on their way up. Like, I remember I used to hate watching Cheltenham against Hereford games because the atmosphere was so tense, but their play today, I've not seen any of that. Been welcomed with open arms and had a really good time, and it's good to see a ground that recognises its history so much. Love a nice old-fashioned ground like this, and it's been well worth the journey on the train that thankfully wasn't cancelled due to the floods. Look at that, celebrating the players now. It's very sweet to see. But yeah, this is definitely worth it. Thank you again, Tom, for the recommendation. I hope you enjoyed Sutton. Thank you, Hereford. Big win for you. Hopefully you can carry your rise up, and hopefully soon we will see you back in the Football League. But for now, let's rate the experience. So we will start off with welcome, and good job, Hereford. Very nice welcome. Since I got there, members of staff were incredibly helpful. You know, I couldn't find out where to get in, so they went out of their way to help me find my way in. And when
I asked them to explain to me how the Golden Goal raffle worked. The guy selling the tickets spent about 5 minutes explaining them to me and telling me about how it's gone in the past. So incredibly engaging and chatty staff. It's not easy for me to get interviews with fans when I just walk up to them with a camera, but they were all very happy to do an interview and gave me so much insight into the club. Meeting someone who was there that day, Ronnie Radford scored that goal, was incredible. And like I was saying, considering the hostility I experienced between Cheltenham and Hereford in the past, that seemed to have just been completely wiped. I didn't feel uncomfortable at any point as an outsider. It's an absolutely excellent place for welcome. I was happy to see them win because of how welcoming they were. So Hereford, you've got an excellent welcome. I thoroughly recommend it to Groundhoppers. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. Food and drink, this was a difficult one because basically when I went into the club bar, they had some pies and stuff available, but when I went inside the ground, it was a bit confusing so I went to that food stall and they had a veggie pie option available on the board. But then the lady, who was very nice, don't get me wrong, said that they didn't have any pies available that day, but I could get some from another stand. That's not her fault, that's a supply issue. I went to the other stands, they didn't have the pies ready yet. And then a steward said that I'd gone out of my block. I wasn't meant to do that. So the food and drink bit was a bit disorganised because whilst they did have pies available in the club bar, I wasn't ready to eat then. And some people might not go into the bar. They might go straight into the game and want to get some food. So I just had crisps and a chocolate bar, which was fine, but it's like very basic. And I think the food and drink just needs a bit of work and organisation because it was quite tricky trying to get food there. And I was quite lucky there was a market nearby, otherwise I might have struggled. So it's very difficult to rate the actual quality of the food and drink as well when there's none available. And Walker's and the Lion Bar, you know exactly what you're getting with that. The options they had were good, but it doesn't mean anything if I can't try them. So I think the food and drink does need a bit of work. Hopefully they can sort out. But yeah, I'll probably give the food and drink a 3 out of 10. Atmosphere, considering that I counted them myself, there were literally about 20 Curzon Ashton fans there, so there wasn't able to be much back and forth between the fans, but Hereford supporters were superb. It wasn't necessarily the loudest atmosphere, but it's still the fact that you could hear the drum going throughout the game, chants going throughout. It never stopped, even when they went 1-0 down. They kept chanting, kept getting behind the team, and there were points where the chants filtered through to where I was sat. So considering there's a derelict stand, there were no away supporters, and a lot of these supporters have grown up seeing the club in the Football League and have had to go through the bottom tier back to the top. They really offered some superb support. So yeah, like I said, it wasn't the loudest chanting, but it was consistent. I'd rather that than loud chanting for 10 minutes and then complete silence. So I'll probably give the atmosphere a 7 out of 10. Plenty of people of all different ages supporting the club who haven't run off to bigger teams. Fair play, you've got a good fan base. Stadium. So this is a really, really difficult one to rate because I absolutely love how much they've kept the soul of the grounds, how much they've recognised their history. They've not put in some like soulless modern corporate stands. They've really made sure to keep their identity. Contrary to that, I think there is a lot of work that needs to be done on the stadium. You can't really afford to be having a derelict stand if you want to get back in the Football League. I think the stand where I was nearly very good to watch a game. It's just the issue was the touchline was slightly out of view where I was sat, so could do with a bit of work there. But I really like the identity that they have with that ground. The way it's shaped, I honestly think those 3 stands are pretty good from what I can see. But they will have to do something about that Ronnie Radford stand because, again, you need all your stands like available, especially one behind the goal and one that's so esteemed, a stand where such an iconic goal happens. I think they just need to renovate it without losing the soul. Just make sure that you still have key bits of it and make sure that the identity of that isn't forgotten. Keep those flags and stuff by all means. It's a very old stadium and there is a lot of wear and tear, so I think in the long term some bits will have to be taken down and put back up again. But if you can do it in a way a bit like, Ipswich or Villa Park, where it's put back up but the history of the club is not forgotten and it's done in a way that it can be sustainable and not soulless, hopefully they can do that and find a way to make Edgar Street sustainable for the future. But it's very well done. There's plenty of places for people to gather around outside. The location of the stadium is superb. It's right by a big shopping centre and the market. Very easy to walk to from the train, about a 10-minute walk. So it's not an issue getting there in any way. And there's plenty around nearby, so you can easily make a day of it. So I think they thought out the stadium really well. But I just think some of it is crumbling, will need some work. But fair play to them for keeping the identity alive. So I'll probably give the stadium a 6.5 out of 10.
And finally, value for money. I think the value for money was, for the most part, good. I do think the price of £19 probably a little bit too steep for that, but I did still get a good experience for the money I paid, and it wasn't an outrageous rip-off, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. It was only £2 to get a chocolate bar and a pack of crisps. A lot of clubs have made that way more. It's only £3 for a pin badge, and the drinks are reasonably priced as well. So I think the value for money overall was pretty decent. I just think the ticket was slightly too expensive, but not in a way that would cause any outrage. So I'll probably give the value for money a 9 out of 10. So that was Edgar Street, home of Hereford. Thank you very much for that day, and hopefully you can turn the season around. Fingers crossed you guys do get back to Football League. I know I've been hammering that point a lot, but it was really sad to see what happened to you. And, you know, it's happened to so many teams falling out of business and going out of Football League, but you've made a good rise, and hopefully you can continue because you've got a really good fan base there. It's clear how much you mean to the local community. Hopefully today's result will be a turning point for the season, and you can be back in the Football League very soon. So all the best, Hereford. I'm sure we'll be back at some point. Thank you for a lovely day. That was Edgar Street, home of Hereford. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think. Have you been to Edgar Street yourself? Did you enjoy it? And where would you like me to go next? I've been AFC Finners. See you next time, and stick with us as we go ground to ground. AFC Finners out.